Here's a video recap of the week of April 24th through 27th, which featured opening night at Churchill Downs, Downs After Dark. The week started with the last 3 days of the Keeneland Spring Meet, April 24th, 5th, and 6th. On the 24th and 25th, I had selected picks as I looked for primetime selections that were as close to surefire winners as you can get. On Wednesday, in the opener, I liked Bernie the Maestro. He was my best bet of the day. Prime time on him, and he proved to be a handy winner. And I scored in a second race at Keeneland in the 7th with number 4, Fog Happens. So for the day, I was 2 for 4 and had a nice little profit on the day. On Thursday, my bet of the day was in the first selection, which was the third race, and it featured the return of Judy the Beauty, who was stakes experience, stakes place, and she looked to be much the best over this Keeneland sprinting field. It was an allowance test going 6 furlongs, and she was indeed much the best. On Friday, it was closing day at Keeneland and it was opening day at Belmont, so I headed out to the races to play the simulcast at Calder. In the first bet of the day, I scored with a Calabrese runner, a Real Fancy Place, went off the favorite. I had that one. Then the second at Belmont was one of my best bets of the day. It was a maiden claimer and it featured number 6, Curveball. In all 4 of his career starts, he'd run speed figures that were better than any lifetime figure of any of his rivals in today's field. He looked to be best on the day. It was Dave Lifton's best, and he was also my best bet of the day. And as they turn
the field turns for home, change at Jamaica to Getch. And here comes Curveball. Curveball now rolling up alongside as they come to the 8th pole. And Cepheus is 3rd. Goldcraft nothing left for the stretch drive, then Veloci on the far outside, and Purple Pico. And they come down to the final 100 yards. It's going to be Curveball and Javier Castellano wins the first 2.
My next score came in my first bet at Keeneland, which was the very next race on my sheet, was the second. It was my best bet of the day at Keeneland. It was a 2-year-old maiden special weight race, and if you know anything about Keeneland meets and 2-year-olds, Wesley Ward is just deadly with those. No Nay Never was listed at 7-2 in the program, and I thought, I just can't believe I'd get that kind of price on him, but he did go off at a nice 4-5. And as they turn for home...
No Nay Never leading by 2 lengths off the turn. Solitary Ranger 2nd. Manaus goes 3rd. Indigo Diamond far outside is 4th. Justice Department is 5th. Solitary Ranger coming after No Nay Never, who leads it by a length past the 8th pole. No Nay Never by 2 lengths. No Nay Never hanging tough thus far against the challenge of Solitary Ranger. And No Nay Never will take it for Joel Rosario.
Yet another winner for Joel Rosario. Record-setting meet for that jockey. So I had No Nay Never as my best bet of the day at Keeneland. The 5th at Belmont was my next selection in New York, and I like number 6, Fly Ride. Went off at 9-2 in the program and a nice 4-1 on the turf as they left the gate. It was a 6 furlong sprint, and as they turned for home...
Then on the far outside, Fly Ride rallies late as they come into the final furlong, and Turn Up the Music is coming with the flying finish. Into the final furlong, Fly Ride comes away with the lead. Down on the inside, Doro Dancer comes on. On the outside, Turn Up the Music, still gaining ground, very late in the game, and Fly Ride holds on.
Paid a healthy $10.60. I'll take that any day. Got back nearly $30. My next score came in the 7th at Belmont. Again, we were on the turf. This time we were going a flat mile. I like number 6, With Exultation. With Exultation was a first-time starter for Christophe Clement. He had Jose Lascano, who was winning 31% for that barn. And as they turned for home, he made a sweet move.
They turned for home. For Better Tomorrow on top by Teddy Bear is 2nd, and With Exultation now rallies boldly down the center of the track, and With Exultation is coming like a shot, just gobbling up the turf. For Better Tomorrow is left behind in 2nd, training for success 3rd, and Bob and Jim 4th. And here is a very good-looking and promising turf performer in With Exultation.
And he too paid a nice price, paid $8.90. I got back over $20. After missing twice at Keeneland and at Calder, the 9th at Belmont, my third selection in New York, I like number 7, Ready to Taunt. We were on the turf again, this time going a mile and a 16th. Ready to Taunt won, paid $7.20. I got back nearly $20 again. Then it was the 4th race at Hollywood. And at Hollywood I liked number 2, Include the Cat. Just looked much the best. He'd already won this classification 3 times, so he was in because it was an optional allowance claiming for the price tag. He scored at even money. I got back $20. My last score of the day on Friday came in the 7th at Hollywood. It was their feature race. It was a mile and a quarter on the turf, and I like number 1, St. Loup. He'd never won in 3 starts here in North America, but boy, he just looked much the best to me after back-to-back best of the rest second finishes. I doubled the bet on him, and he came home a handy winner to score. Closed out the day by cashing for over $25. On Saturday, April the 27th, it was the final day of racing for the month, and it was opening night at Churchill Downs, Downs After Dark. I decided to play the first part of the card live at the track and then come home to watch the rest of the races here on the big screen TV. My first winner came at Calder in the 5th race, my second selection locally, and it was my best bet of the day at Calder. Number 6, Celestial Kitten on the turf. Wasn't a fan of the 2 for 20 record on the turf, but the one thing that I did like about this horse was that she was facing much softer today. As they turned for home, she opened up.
Run for Jonathan Gonzalez, and she's cleared down to the final furlong. Celestial Kitten now out to a 4-5 length lead. Wise Moment just trying to hold the place at this point. Call the 10 has flattened out just a bit, and it is Celestial Kitten who will win this one impressively. Celestial Kitten by 6.
Oh yeah, that's a nice win. I went for nearly an hour and a half before I cashed my next ticket, wondered what kind of day it was going to be. But the opener at Hollywood Park, where it was Gold Rush Day with several state-bred stakes races, was the Warren's Thoroughbred Stakes race. And number 6, Hail Mary, looked to be much the best on her rivals today. Way too good for these, and as they turned for home, she opened up. My next winner came in the 8th at Belmont, number 9, Long Hunter. Long Hunter had won a small stakes race at Gulfstream 3 years ago and had been on my watch list since. It had not won since. But in this turf sprint, he seemed to have the best closing punch. Split horses at the top of the stretch and scored. Paid a nice $6.30. I got back nearly $16. I left after that, headed for home to watch the rest of the races on the big screen. And the first in that sequence of races was the feature at Calder. It was the Big Drama Stakes, going 6 furlongs. There were 10 horses lined up in the starting gate, and 8 of them all wanted the lead. Now the speed of the speed appeared to be Brave Dave, and he'd been one of my favorite horses last year. The problem was Brave Dave was coming off a layoff, and I thought he'd have a lot of pace pressure today, and probably would get leg weary coming down the stretch. So I looked for a closer, and that was City of Weston, number 2. I doubled the bet. Sure enough, Brave Dave had the lead turning for home, but here came City of Weston.
As they come toward the top of the stretch, Brave Dave just under a hand ride from Elvis Trujillo. He's the one to catch, and City of Weston is now hitting his best stride, and he's in with a big shot. City of Weston closing strongly now at Brave Dave as they come to the final 16th. Brave Dave, life and death. City of Weston right alongside now. City of Weston forging to the lead to take the big drama.
Oh, yeah, got back nearly $40 on that winner. It was time for the opener under the lights at Churchill Downs, Downs After Dark. Looking forward to going there in their next Downs After Dark program, June 15th, see the Grade 1 Stephen Foster. But tonight, the opener of the meet featured one of 4 prime time selections that I'd listed on Facebook for all my Facebook friends and followers, and that was number 5, Wine Princess. She was tough on this track. She had the right running style to stalk the leaders, But as they went down the backstretch, she was like 8 off the lead, and I'm like, uh-oh, this can't be good. But then she made a big move, and as they turned for home...
Saves White Blinkers still just showing in front. Down the outside, Wine Princess still looking for racing room. Distorted Legacy could not get it out inside the final third and a half, and that made Wine Princess skip clear by 4. It's all over now, and it's Sean Bridgman and Wine Princess, and now she's a perfect 3 out of 3 on the Churchill main track.
Oh yeah, the first winner of the meet, and I collected over $20. I missed in the 3rd at Churchill, I missed at the 7th at Hollywood, and then it was the 4th at Churchill Downs. It was a claiming of non-winners of 2 lifetime. My selection was number 3, Delightful Music, and I was going to triple the investment. What I didn't like about this selection was that Jill Byrne, who's the best public handicapper I've ever seen, if my horse isn't in her top 3, I'm a little bit concerned, and Delightful Music was not. So I looked at it, and I re-looked at it, and re-looked at it again, and I thought, no, in this case, I think Jill's wrong, and I think I'm right. As they turned for home, Delightful Music made her move.
Lane, and it's Emmy Rules who has still got the lead towards the outside. Delightful Magic is there in second. On the same page, cuts the inside down the outside. It's Mary Magdalene with the White Blinkers down towards the final furlong. Delightful Magic now pulls alongside Emmy Rules. Delightful Magic goes on for Sean Bridgman. A 16th from the wire. Delightful Magic is clearing away, and it's 3 wins already for Sean Bridgman. Delightful Magic wins.
Oh, yes! Paid a nice $6, got back close to $50. Sorry, Jill, I got you on that one. The very next race on my sheet was the 5th at Churchill Downs, and it was my bet of the night. This just goes to show you don't have to have big graded stakes races to have your best bet. This was a maiden claimer and featured a 2nd-time starter, number 8, Pretty Little Kate. Well, Pretty Little Kate, her Beyer speed figure in her debut was over 20 points better than everything her rivals had ever run. Now, it's not a lot of consistency with only 1 race. Still, I thought it was good enough to make her prime time. As they left the gate, Rosie Napravnik put her on the lead, and I was worried because speed had not been holding. And as they turned for home, it was a thrilling stretch duel.
Kate has the lead, but wandering under pressure to the outside. 5 feet high and rising, just won't go away. A breakdown of 6 lengths opening up to the staying on BK's Ocean City. They've got a 16th to go. Pretty Little Kate clinging to a tenuous lead. Racing to the line. Pretty Little Kate and 5 feet high and rising.
Oh yeah, my 3rd winner on the card. Cashed with my best bet of the night. Pretty Little Kate got back close to $30. I missed on 3 races in a row, 1 at Hollywood, 2 at Churchill Downs before the 9th race, and it was my 4th primetime investment at the Downs. I like number 2, Horned Frog. Horned Frog had had 4 races on the dirt. All had scored mid-80 Beyer speed figures, all good enough to win this race. What I like best were those 4 races on the main, 3 wins and a photo finish 2nd. He was 2 for 3 at Churchill Downs. I thought he looked much the best. I tripled the bet, but as they turned for home, it was another stretch duel.
As we race down towards the final furlong, Horned Frog in the centre, on the outside Biker Boy, and on the inside Gallant Eagle. Back in 4th is Practice T, racing inside the final 16th. Horned Frog on the inside, Biker Boy on the near side. It's a race of heads. Horned Frog, Biker Boy, Horned Frog to win.
Yes! Close but a winner. I scored and got back over $25. Well done, Mr. Mark. The last bet of the night was the 10th, the featured Grade 3 Derby Trial. There are 2 Pletcher horses. I went with Capo Bastoni under Garrett Gomez, flying late, only to be 2nd to 40 Tails, who had not won for me twice at Gulfstream. This Saturday is Kentucky Derby Day, preceded on Friday by Kentucky Oaks Day. What a great weekend to kick off the month of May.